Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Rohit Raj. This is the Non-Dual Show, and in today's episode, I'm super excited to talk about an incredible yet powerful habit that would completely transform your life. Something which changed the course of my life many years back, and trust me, it's not an exaggeration when I say this. That habit is called meditation. I'm sure you have heard about it. And in today's episode, we are going to talk much more details about how to do it, what is meditation, what are the benefits of it. So stick around till the end, it's going to be a juicy topic. So without wasting much time, let's get straight into it. Now let's talk about what is meditation. Meditation is a precise technique for silencing your mind and simply being aware of the present moment. It not only quietens your mind, but it's a contemplative practice for focusing your mind and further transforming it. Meditation is one of the strongest habits for improving your mindfulness and self-awareness. And one of the goals with meditation is to simply go beyond your mind and experience our true and essential nature as a human being. So before we go beyond the mind, it is important for us to know what are the present content within our mind. And to do that, if we close our eyes, we would realize that there are various thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, and a lot more things that's going on within there. So you see, by default, our culturescape has trained us to look outwards. By default, we have been conditioned to question, dissect, disintegrate, analyze everything on the outside, but we hardly question anything in the inside. And if we do, we would realize that sometimes it's a chaos within there. In Buddhist tradition, they call it the monkey mind. They relate the mind with a monkey who is agitated and who is jumping from one tree to another tree. Now, there is no problem with all these thoughts and feelings and emotions coming up, but the problem is when we go along with it. Have you ever noticed that when you are sitting at one place, maybe calm, quietly, and maybe you've just closed your eyes, you would realize that you easily drift off to a different location. Physically, you're still there, but you completely move away to a different location because your thoughts or your feelings just took you away. Now, what meditation does is it goes ahead and makes you in the present moment. It's a practice of bringing you back into the present moment and not really judging your thoughts, feelings, emotions, or whatever is appearing on the surface. Not to judge, none of that, but just being unaffected and being in the present moment. Now I'm going to talk about some of the amazing benefits of meditation. Although there are so many scientifically proved benefits of meditation, but I brought to you my favorite top 10 list. So many of them I have clubbed like 2-3 benefits into one, but it's a total of 10 that I'm bringing to you. So the first benefit that I have for you is it improves learning, memory, and self-awareness. I'll talk about a brain phenomena called gray matter. So gray matter is associated with the parts of the brain that deals with muscle control, sensory perception like taste, sound, touch, memory, emotions, speech, decision making, self-control, self-awareness, etc. And as we start to age, the gray matter in our brain starts to decay. It starts to reduce. Studies have shown that a frequent meditation habit can actually build the gray matter in our brain. There has been various research that has been done on various Buddhist monks and non-meditators, and they figured out that these monks had a stronger and a denser gray matter area in their brain. Now, it not only improves the gray matter, but it also changes the physical shape and size of the brain, which really makes us learn better. It really makes us be more self-aware, and it also helps us have a better memory. The next benefit that we have is that meditation reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. And before we go ahead, we need to know what exactly is stress and why does stress really happen? See, stress is our body's natural response to any perceived threat or danger on the outer environment. Now, this threat could be in the form of financial stress, stress in relationship, stress at work or career, or it could be anything. But as soon as stress happens, the body goes ahead and turns itself into a fight or flight mode to protect itself. And in order to do that, it releases a hormone called cortisol. Now, cortisol is not that great for the body because it actually impairs your memory. It really reduces the quality of your sleep. It promotes cloudy thinking. It increases the blood pressure, and it also creates fatigue and demotivation. A 2013 study that was conducted with some participants with over a 8-week meditation program, they figured out they had a reduced level of cortisol in their body. Another study in which they took 2,466 participants, a large group of people, and they figured out that practicing mindfulness meditation had an incredible effect on the cortisol levels of their body, and they were able to manage their stress much more better. The next benefit is one of my favorite benefits, and that is meditation helps to master your emotions. Now, most of the people think that in order to live a fulfilled life or a successful life, you need to have a great IQ. However, that's not right. We need to have a great EQ, which means a great emotional intelligence to have a fulfilled life. Emotional intelligence is nothing but just being able to manage all your emotions, positive or negative. If you face a positive emotion, you don't get attached to it. If you get a negative emotion, you don't get carried away with it. I would see a lot of people, they would say that, so somebody said something to me on Instagram and I'm so mad and it ruined my day. Or somebody said something to me and now I'm so sad. See, you go ahead and give your control of being happy to somebody else and you become that particular negative emotion. That's not a great idea. I was watching a video by Sadhguru and he says a great thing. He says that suffering can only enter into your body through two places. One is your body and the second one is through your mind. And that makes a lot of sense because when you meditate, you actually create a space between yourself and your body, yourself and your mind, right? So if you are experiencing happy emotion, you don't get carried away with it and you don't feel attached to it. However, at the same time, if you're facing anger or jealousy or stress, you do not become that emotion and you don't go along with it. The idea of meditation is to stay at a point and to observe all these emotions that are happening to you. So personally, this one benefit has helped me a lot, and it's one of the best as per me. It really helps, and a lot of research has also been done about it. I'll go ahead and put all the research in the description below so that you can actually see all the research papers that are published. And that's it. We move on to the next benefit. Another great benefit of meditation is that it really helps to improve your productivity, creativity, and imagination. Now, if you are somebody who is a no-nonsense kind of a guy, just go for things in your life and get it, like a very practical and pragmatic person, I would say meditation is for you, because it really helps to build that prefrontal cortex by creating new connections in there. Prefrontal cortex is usually used for planning, strategizing, executing complex tasks, reasoning. It is also helpful for managing emotion, your ability to focus at one thing for a longer period of time. In a study that was conducted in 2007 amongst professional athletes, they figured out that doing mindfulness meditation with some of these athletes actually helped to increase their performance and productivity. On the other hand, if I talk about creativity, now creativity is a very right brain activity. In order to be more creative, I think you need to access your ability to access your subconscious mind matters a lot, because subconscious mind is what's connected to the supreme power, and that's the place from where you get ideas. But if you're always in a state of chaos and if you're agitated, you won't be able to calm your mind to get those ideas. It's super important to be centered and calm so that you can actually get some creative ideas from the source. If you are an artist or if you are somebody who likes to pursue something creative, definitely meditation would give you great benefits, and it's one of the best things to do. The next benefit that we have is that meditation lengthens your attention span and increases your willpower. Now, willpower is more like a muscle that you have in your body. Just like you go to the gym and you work out, first thing is that you have to work out every day, then your muscle is developed. And secondly, those last 2 to 3 reps that you go for, that is what really builds your biceps. So similarly, when you are meditating and every time your mind wanders off and you bring it back, imagine that you're like flexing your willpower muscle, and as soon as you bring it back, you went ahead and did it. And if you are doing it just once in a day and then you're doing it another after 15 days, it will not really work. You have to do it every day so that you can actually see some great gains in your willpower. The next benefit that we have is meditation improves the self-esteem and self-confidence. And I want to talk here a little bit about brooding. Brooding is actually very common between people with depression. Brooding is actually an act of allowing a negative behavior like anger or sadness or self-criticism or low self-esteem to stick around for an extended period of time. In a research that was conducted in the University of Exeter amongst people who were recovering from depression, they first of all divided them into 2 halves. One who was only taking medication and another one who was just doing some meditation. And they figured out that after 30 days, almost 50%, almost half of the research group who was only taking medication relapsed back to these negative behaviors like brooding, compared to the other half who was only doing meditation. The next benefit that we have is meditation generates compassion, kindness, and positivity. There is a meditation called metta, which is also known as loving kindness meditation, which really begins by developing kind thoughts and feelings for everybody around you and for yourself. It is a practice where people learn the act of kindness and forgiveness to everybody who might cause even harm to you. There was around 22 studies that was conducted on this particular form of meditation, and they figured out that it really helped in improving the compassion levels of people. There was another study which showed that it really helped people improve their social anxiety and also helped with anger management. Another great advantage is that meditation really helps fight addiction. Yes, meditation helps to break the dependency on substance by increasing self-control, by making us more aware of the triggers that make us go that direction, and by improving the willpower. There was a study that was conducted by taking 19 recovering alcoholics, and they taught them how to meditate, and they figured out that after a period of time they were able to have a better coping mechanism towards their own craving and the stress that was related to the craving. Another great benefit that we have is meditation helps to improve your sleep. There has been numerous research that has been done in the past 2 decades where they have figured out that meditating just for 15 minutes before going to sleep has a great impact on the quality of your sleep. It also helps you to doze off faster. This particular benefit has helped me a lot in the past 3-4 years. And last but not the least, and this one is also one of my favorites, meditation is used in various traditions to attain enlightenment. There are various traditions like Buddhism, where meditation is one of the ways of attaining enlightenment. Now, enlightenment is a very advanced concept, so I'm not really going to talk anything about it over here. But as per the enlightened masters, if I just have to put some words to it, it is a process of dissolving your ego or self-image and being one with a higher reality, or they call it a truth with a capital T. There is a higher state of consciousness which is a much more unified state, and we are actually one with it. And that's also called non-duality. So that's pretty much it from my side about the benefits of meditation. Now I'm going to tell you how to meditate. Step-by-step process, how to do it. So there are various meditation techniques that are out there on the internet. And they all are useful. You can choose any one of them. What I'm going to tell you is a very basic form of meditation, but yet a very powerful one. It is called Anapana. It's one of the oldest forms of meditation and a very, very simple meditation. People would tell you that you might want to go to a class or buy some expensive gears. Not at all. You don't need anything to meditate. You don't need to spend any money to meditate. You just need to know this simple technique, and that's all. I learned this technique in my Vipassana meditation practice. And in future, I'm going to do a video on Vipassana 10-day silent retreat and my experience in there. Right now, I'm going to tell you and break this method down into 4 steps. It's a super simple method. So all you're doing is just focusing your attention on your breath. So the first step that we do is we go ahead and find a place to meditate. In your house, any place, make sure that it's not a place where there are a lot of people coming in. So find a calm place to meditate. Simple, not a big thing. Second step would be to go ahead and schedule the time. I would always say that to schedule your time to do anything, because if you don't get it scheduled, it never gets done. Try to do it in the morning, because morning usually you have a lot of energy. Try not to do it after a meal, because you'll feel lethargic either in the morning or in the night, but just schedule it whenever that is. That's step number 2. Step number 3 would be to really put a timer. You might think that's not very important, but yes, it's very important. Put a timer of 20 minutes to start off with. People would also tell you that, oh, you can just meditate for 5 minutes, and that would be great. But let me tell you that if you are really taking meditation seriously in your life, try to do it for a minimum 20 minutes. And as in future, once you become an experienced meditator, you can raise it up to either 30, 40 or 1 hour. But always start off with minimum 20 minutes. That's step number 3. And the last step and the most important step is close your eyes and put your attention on your breath. Put your attention on your incoming breath and your outgoing breath. It's not very hard. A lot of people tell different ways of putting your attention. It can be, you can create a dot and look at it. You can light a candle and look at it. So all you're doing is basically creating an anchor for your mind to come back to when your mind is wandering. So here you're using breath. Your breath is always going to stay with you. So use the breath. So all you're doing is just observing the incoming and outgoing breath. And as soon as your mind wanders, because within 5 minutes you will realize that your mind has gone to some other place where it is thinking about its girlfriend or its boyfriend, or the email that I have to send, or the task my mom gave me, or I have to do this task or that task. It'll go into different directions. As soon as that happens, be very mindful about it and bring your attention back to your breath. You are not observing any thoughts or feelings or emotions that are happening within you. You are just observing the content in your mind. These are different contents in your mind. You are just observing it without judging them. Consider it like you are a station master who is sitting in a railway station and who is just sitting there and who's watching all these trains come to the platform and just go. You yourself are not getting on any of the trains and going, but you're just sitting at one place and just observing these trains come and go from different locations. So it's just like that. So be the person who is observing, and while you're doing it, again you will realize your mind again took you somewhere else. Bring it right back. It goes again, bring it right back. So this is the hard lifting that you're doing, the one that I was talking earlier about, the willpower flex. So this is exactly what you're doing. Every time you bring your mind back into the present moment, which is your breath, you are flexing that willpower muscle, which further helps to build that willpower. Also make sure that you do not, if your breath is too shallow, try to regulate the breathing. Make it very basic and just regulate it in a normal pace. Don't breathe too heavily, or if your breath is shallow, try to bring it back, but just make sure that you observe the different kind of sensations that are happening in your body. And all these things when happen, take your attention off everything and simply put your attention on the breath. That's all. So this is a very simple meditation. You don't need a lot of fancy equipments or stuff to do it. And that's about it. That was about how to meditate. I'm going to give you a quick caveat of few of the things that you have to keep in mind while meditating. First of all, I want to tell you that you have to incorporate meditation as a habit into your life. If you are planning to do it today and do it the next week and then after the next month, then it's better that you don't even start it. But meditation would give you great benefits once you keep a momentum on it for a longer period of time. So if you are keeping it for a longer period of time, please definitely keep that, because it's going to give you great benefits in life. That's the first thing. Second thing I want to tell you is that while you're meditating, although meditation seems like this process where everything is calm and nice and amazing, but trust me, sometimes it is not very calm in there. Sometimes there would be a possibility that there would be some emotions or some feelings which are deep within you, which might just arise on the surface. For example, you might be agitated, or you might be frustrated, or one day you would have a bad meditation, one day you would not feel like meditating, one day you would feel sleepy. But the idea is to go on and try to put more emphasis on creating that habit. And it's okay when these things arise on the surface. You as a station master, you're not going to judge none of them, and you're just going to observe them. And you're just going to observe them. So keep observing. It's an act of continuous observing. Another thing that I want to say is that when you start your meditation session, there could be a possibility that you might fall off very quickly. So be very mindful about that when you fall off. It's your mind's ability to create distraction for yourself, because after some time your mind would say that what's the point even sitting there in silence and doing nothing? What's the point? I mean, I can actually go and do something else. So that's just a form of distraction. So bust through that distraction, that problem which your mind is projecting in front of you, and move ahead of that, and try to maintain this habit. So these are a few of the caveats that I want to say, and I hope you have a great meditation session in future, and I hope you maintain this practice, and I'm able to convince you to incorporate this incredible habit into your life. So that's about it from my side. Thank you so much for listening to the whole video right up till the end. If you like this video and the content that I brought, please hit that like button for me, share it with a friend or family, and please subscribe to the channel, because every Friday I bring videos about mind, body, and dance. And usually, if you notice that these mind videos are a little longer than the other two styles of videos, because it's the kind of content and the amount of research that I bring in. So I really appreciate your time, you coming here and watching this whole episode. Take care. I'll see you next week, and have a good day.